Thank you, Chairwoman. It's really great to have you two here, and I know a lot about your commitment and work over the years. I'm just grateful for your steadfast focus. I'm doing a lot of work trying to really focus on Africa. I was there a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully we'll get over there with the Chairman Cardin's help on Monday. And when I was mayor of the city of Newark, we saw a big turn in financial just growth and investment and corporations moving there and partnerships. And one of the best pieces of advice when I got to be mayor was the two things you should really focus on is safety, just crime in general, and corruption. And that if people know that there's rules of the game. What's really worrying me about a lot of my trips to Africa, coming back from Tanzania and Kenya most recently, is when I land there, I just hear stories replete with the challenges that are still being faced with corruption, and even how it affects the political thinking of when I meet with civil society groups about trying to choose between who might steal the least amount of money. And it's difficult. You take a country like Kenya that is such a critical partner for ours globally, but their process towards creating the kind of confidence and transparency. You have Kenya just being gray listed, for example, again, which is a tremendous setback for the country, excuse me, and really a blow to a lot of our investments and efforts in the country as well. And so as I prepare to go to Ghana now and to Nigeria, two other countries that are facing a lot of challenges, I'm wondering, Mr. Nephew, what kind of progress we've made. The president's 5 pillars that he put out in December in combating corruption, I thought were ambitious and strong, but I'm wondering what measurable progress we've made and what are some of the important pressure points as we try to partner with these extraordinary nations in Africa that are critical partners now, but I think are going to be growing in their urgency and importance on a global scale in the years to come.
No, thank you very much for the question, Senator. I would say maybe two things. First, I very much appreciate your engagement on this topic, and especially with local African leadership to reinforce that this is a cross-government U.S. focus and topic. When I travel to Africa, I'm always struck with a similar sense of real opportunity if we can just help get the bad actors out of the way. And so a lot of the work that we've been doing has been about, again, improving the accountability systems of local authorities so that way they can hold their actors accountable, but also providing support through sanctions tools, visa restrictions, investigatory support, and those sorts of things. The second point I'd make on this is that we do have a whole of government approach that we're taking to this, including foreign assistance activities that are operated out of USAID, work that we're doing at the State Department, work that we're doing through our Treasury Department colleagues who are trying to improve financial integrity and transparency, work that's being done by the FBI to be able to support investigations, including investigations that might have impacts here where we can hold people accountable. And what I can say in terms of progress is we have absolutely seen that there is government commitment, depending again on the country, to be able to take this agenda up because they see the investment challenges.
Let me pause here, Mr. Nephew. I think I usually talk to Deputy Secretary of State Chris Coons before I go over to any trip in Africa, but perhaps you and I can talk before this next trip about some of the pressure points when I meet with officials. But before I lose all my time, I just want to bring up one of the highlights of my journeys in this past year, which was to Estonia. And you want to talk about best practices. There were things I think our government can learn in terms of use of technology and innovation to create transparency. As I found when I was mayor, is the more sort of objective systems that you create, the harder it is to create corruption. And I'm wondering what we are doing to take best practices like Estonia is showing and help other governments avail themselves of the systems and the tools that they're using.
Yeah, Senator, and Shannon may also want to jump in here too. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned Estonia. I am almost an unofficial ambassador of Estonia's digital tools because I talk about Estonia and the work that they can do around the world. In fact, I was just in Guatemala bringing up the importance of working with the kinds of digital tools that they've developed. One of the jobs that I have as coordinator is to actually take and identify best practices that we see from around the world and take them elsewhere, because things that may work here don't necessarily work in other countries, which have different cultures, different contexts, but could certainly work in countries that have a similar size or economic background. So a lot of what we do is identify those kinds of steps that could be taken and then bring them to other places and make those kinds of connections.
Senator, I just wanted to add that we do see Estonia working with a number of different countries to bring the innovations they've made on e-governance to those countries. So Nepal, Tanzania, Zambia, and Malawi come to mind. So we are absolutely helping them export what is so innovative and novel about their approach.
Thank you very much. Chairwoman, thank you so much.